Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this. It is January 11th, 2023. It is 4:29 in the morning. Okay. This is part 2 of Jennifer Egan's The Candy House. It was early October, a razor of cold in the breeze. Bix walked uptown on 7th Avenue, intending to turn around after a few blocks, but walking in the dark felt good. It returned him to the East 7th Street years, those occasional nights early on when Lizzie's parents visited from San Antonio. They believed she was sharing the apartment with her friend Sasha, also an NYU sophomore, a ruse Sasha corroborated by doing laundry in the bathroom the day Lizzie's parents came to see the apartment at the start of fall semester. Lizzie had been raised in a world oblivious to black people except those who served and caddied at her parents' country's club, or caddied at her parents' country's club. So frightened was she of their presumptuous horror at her living with a black boyfriend that Bix was banished from their bed during her parents' first visits, even though they stayed in a midtown hotel. It didn't matter. They would just know. So Bix had walked occasionally, collapsing in the engineering lab, under the guise of pulling an all-nighter. The walks had left a body memory, a dogged imperative to keep going despite his resentment and exhaustion. It sickened him to think he'd put up with it, although he felt it justified. On some cosmic balance sheet, the fact that Lizzie now managed every facet of their domestic lives so that he could work and travel as he pleased, the legion of good things that had come to him since, could be seen as recompense for those walks. Still, why? Was the sex really that good? Well, yes. Was his self-esteem so low that he'd indulged in white girlfriends' magical thinking without protest? Had he enjoyed being her illicit secret? None of that. What had fueled Bix's indulgence, his endurance, was the thrall of his vision, which burned with hypnotic clarity on those nights of slugging exile. Lizzie and her friends barely knew what the internet was in 1992, but Bix could feel the vibrations of an invisible web of connection forcing its way through the familiar world like cracks riddling a windshield. Life as they knew it would soon shatter and be swept away, at which point everyone would rise together into a new metaphysical sphere. Bix had imagined it like the Last Judgment paintings, whose reproductions he used to collect, but without hell. The opposite. Disembodied, he believed black people would be delivered from the hatred that hemmed and stymied them in the physical world. At last, they could move and gather at will, without pressure from the likes of Lizzie's parents, those faceless Texans who opposed Bix without knowing he existed. The term social media wouldn't be coined to describe Mandela's business for almost a decade, but Bix had conceived of it before he brought it to pass. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.